New intro. So much love and appreciation to those of you who have been with me for the 2 year period plus that I've been doing this. Thank you for showing your love and support to the channel. And to anybody else who is brand new to the platform and you would like to support the channel, also, you can do it by way of Patreon, Anchor, the clothing store, and also the shoe shop that is listed in the comment description below. And again, thank you to any and all of you guys who have been here to support this channel during the 2+ year period. I wouldn't be able to do what I do every single day without you. A Georgia high school athletic director was suspended after he defended himself and restrained a student who was in possession of a weapon while on school property. Mr. Miller stated that on August 20th of last year, the school's principal called him into her office about reports of a student on campus with a weapon. Miller confronted one of the female students while in the presence of an officer. Miller and the officers were unaware that the student who was there, who eyewitnesses described as belligerent and aggressive, had a weapon on them during the time. The situation escalated when the student hit Miller with a stapler. Miller then grabbed the girl and restrained her until officers stepped in and took her into custody. The weapon was later found in her backpack. Mr. Miller stated that another weapon was found later that day, but it's unclear if it's the same girl who was in possession of that weapon. Miller was initially fired, but the school district later reversed the decision to a suspension which lasted for months. Quote, the district's administration does not support Mr. Miller's actions relating to the event and believes his conduct failed to meet the professional expectations it has for its employees. Mr. Miller inappropriately intervened in a student matter being handled by the school administrators and law enforcement. Mr. Miller acted outside of the scope of his authority and responsibilities. Mr. Miller's conduct resulted in an escalation of physical altercation with a student in crisis, which conflicts with the district's expectation to de-escalate in these types of situations. Mr. Miller has not exhausted his due process rights at this time and remains on full paid administrative leave. And that was stated by Fulton County Schools. Mr. Miller's lawyers called on school systems to support teachers who get, quote, put in terribly dangerous situations. Quote, those teachers are our first line of defense against weapons and other types of terrible violence that happens in schools. So basically, what you were able to hear is that you have a black coach that ended up being assaulted by a black female student. If you are to actually look up the story and to see the video, you can see how masculine, right, the girl, the teenager, is acting. You can look at her posture and notice the aggressiveness, notice the masculine demeanor and energy that she is giving off, right? And she thought, full well that, oh, I don't care if you're a man or not. I'm going to just sit up there and grab anything that's within arm's reach. And I'm going to do whatever I want to do because I can do it and because you're not going to do anything about it. That's the type of attitude she had. And that's the type of attitude she still has. And because she was raised, right, to think that she can do anything that she wants to do, and because there are no such things as repercussions, this is why she decided to then go ahead and do the same thing, right, that young black men do, right, which is, oh, well, I'm a part of this or that, or I'm having some issues with, some girls at school and yada yada yada. I'm going to decide to sit up there and take something with me to school. Now, the main thing that I've told women before in previous videos is that you have enough young men who have laid down the blueprint. If you want to try to follow something, right, the correct way, you have enough young men that have laid down a blueprint to show you, hey, the wrong ways to deal with situations, right? Which is, hey, I'm not going to sit up there and decide to bring something to school that can potentially have some unforeseen repercussions due to the fact that I'm in my emotions right now. I'm not thinking logically at this time. And what do we normally see with those young black men, right? Who want to think emotionally and not logically, right? They end up in jail. They end up in prison. They have long sentencings. They end up as felons. They end up on the streets after they get out and back into the same exact cycle because the system is made so that when you get put into jail or prison, you automatically have a record, which means that when you go to apply for a job, even though you have the necessary skills, those jobs are not going to hire you because they figure you as a liability and they see you as a potential problem. And a job is not going to sit up there and take that risk of hiring somebody that is a risk and a potential problem. So they're going to overlook you, go over you, and go towards somebody else who might not even be better suited. But even with the blueprints of mistakes, right, that young black men have made in order for other people to see, like, hey, this is the route that I took. This was obviously the wrong route. Do not go this way. Do not pass go. You have a lot of these young black girls out here. They're like, no, I'm different. I'm a woman. I can do anything that I want to sit up to do, and can't nobody sit up there and stop me. Can't nobody sit up there and tell me what to do. Can't nobody sit up there and correct me. I am my own boss, right? Right? That's how they're raised out here now. So even when it comes to a black man who is a coach, who is a teacher at a school district, who is trying to put down some corrective measures, what does she decide to do? You can't tell me what to do. I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to start to get physical because I'm a woman. You're not supposed to hit women and you're not going to do anything about it. Right. And I'm going to list her as a woman because of the actions, right, that she is taking. Because normally how young girls are raised is that, oh, boys aren't, supposed to hit you, and if they do, we're going to come after them, and they're going to have to suffer the repercussions because they're stronger and you're weaker, right? So because of that logic, right, that backwards logic, like, oh, men are always stronger, yada yada yada, this is why she has that attitude. This is why she went after a full-fledged grown man. That dude, the teacher, looked like he probably weighs close to like 200 plus pounds, right? And she probably weighed no more than maybe like 120, maybe barely touching 130. And she thought that she was going to be able to, I guess, take him on in Mortal Kombat and be able to win. Like I said, you have a lot of these young girls who have been gassed up, who have never been checked, because you have a lot of grown black women out here who've been gassed up, who have never been checked, and who have never been corrected. So then they decide that they want to take on the actions and the demeanor that of a young black man and a full-fledged man, and decide to go after a man at the same time, thinking that it's all equal. Like I said before, yo, to the black women out here, y'all better sit up there and start teaching y'all daughters correctly. Let me let you know something. Let me let you know something. At no point in time, like I said, I came up, at a point in time where it was like, yo, you keep your hands to yourself. If you don't want to be touched, then don't touch nobody. Keep your hands directly to yourself. That it goes for both men and women. It goes for both girls and boys. That's exactly how it is. That's called equal opportunity, because the moment in time that you decide that you want to put your hands on somebody that you shouldn't have, equal opportunity, equal justice, equal rights, and equal lefts is going to sit up there and strike you down. Doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl, whatever you want to sit up there and say. That is what it is. And I don't care how people sit up there and feel about it. Like I said, the moment in time that you decide to teach your little girl that it is okay, a-okay, to go after men, to hit men, and to do all of these other types of things, this is when you have scenarios like this one come up in society and within the black community. And like I said before, because she has not been raised well by her mother, this is exactly why you have the mannerisms in this girl that you do. There's no reason at this moment in time that she's like, yo, I'm about to sit up there and fight. Let me square up. Let me posture up to the police. What? Let me square up to another black man, who's a teacher that's trying to correct me. What? Like I said before, go watch that video. Go watch that video. It's ridiculous. It's a small second clip, but within that, you can look at that girl and you can already tell it's done. It's game over. Like I said, there's a lot of young black men that I can highly sit up there and tell you, like, yo, there's no saving them. There's no saving them. And when you have young black girls like this, there is no saving them. It is over. It is nothing but jail and prison. So if at any point in time, any one of y'all that want to, oh, you're going so hard on black women and black girls, roll up underneath this video and decide that this is the spot that you want to lay all of your stuff on. And I'm going to show you how stupid you look. Because at no point in time should you decide that you want to get on a soapbox underneath any of these videos and decide that this is the point where I want to start defending black women. That's 100% stupid. That's 100% stupid. And this is why, because you have enablers like this out here, this is exactly why behaviors like this from these young black girls is able to persist. This is why no type of correction is able to proceed, because they were taught, hey, I'm not going to listen to a man. I'm my own boss. It is what it is. But then in the same token, you'll have black women rolling up talking about, well, if black men were in a household raising their kids, then none of this would ever have happened. What do you expect a black woman to do, because she's the only one sitting up there doing it? She's the provider, she's the mother and the father. So you mean to sit up there and tell me that within your femininity as being a black woman, that you can't get in touch with your black daughter and have her as a reflection of you in a positive light? So because none of that is able to happen, it's a black man's fault. Okay. So it's a black man's fault if a black girl, a black female teenager decides that she wants to take the route of young black men. Okay. So then it's a black man's fault as well if a young black male decides to do the exact same things, even though you have other black men and young black boys who have taken that same exact route and who have laid down those same exact blueprints to show him, like, yo, this is not what you want to do, son. This is not where you want to go. If you do this, you'll end up just like me. But even still, with all of these things that are readily accessible, where everybody has a computer directly in their hands at this moment in time, watching YouTube, TikTok, IG, and all this other type of stuff, regardless of whatever news sources you decide to look at. I don't even care if it's Fox News, because they will still sit up there and show you, like, hey, this is a black man. Guess what? He did the wrong thing. You better sit up there and shape up and learn how to do what it do before you end up just like him. Don't be another Tyrone. Don't be another Darren. Be you and sit up there and move differently in life. But beyond all of that information that is out there, it's like, you know what? It's still a black man's fault. Even in the videos where I showcase to you fathers are actually present in their children's lives, and the child still decides to go the wrong route, guess what they say? It's still a black man's fault. So like I said, at the end of the day, the young black girl who decided to bring a weapon to school, she's not the villain of the story, right? She's not the one that could have potentially changed a multitude of lives just with that one action of her bringing that to school, because we've already seen how school interactions like this have gone. No, she's not the problem. No, 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 no. It's not the parent or the parents that are the problem. It's the black man who was the coach, who was doing the utmost, and that just should have allowed the school administrators and the police to directly handle the situation. But when you go back and you look at that video, you will clearly see that police was not trying to handle that situation. Because if that was a young black man, I promise you, they would have handled that situation vastly differently. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.